B, now as shown on screen there, with a 100 plus kill game with the Bren from the support class. So nice to see something different. So let's get straight into it. Straight at the start of the game, he's gone straight into a vehicle, running towards the mid-map from spawn with the vehicle, is going through the power position here, which is nice, and will take up a good head glitch spot looking on to C. But this is right at the start of the game. You can see at the top middle of the screen 1 minute of the game has already gone. He's picked up 2 kills, but he could have already got to mid-map, on that wooden debris that was right in the middle center of the C flag there. I'm fast forwarding just a bit there to show even further. He could have gone into and onto C flag to push the enemies that are now coming from their spawn at A, but he was standing there for a while just watching the tank, not getting any kills when he could have pushed in on C flag. So he's had 2 kills, and by the time he spawns in here, you can see at the top of the screen 2 minutes have gone. If you can play the start of the game right on Devastation by pushing mid-map on C flag, where all the enemies are going to, then you will be able to get an average of 10 to 15 kills easily at the start of every game. But what I like here is when his rotation. Once he has tried to push A there, but there's so many enemies shooting down that one main road, there's not a lot of cover. He's made this decision to push down the waterway here to get around on the back of A. Hardly any enemies push here, and they're all focused on A flag. So he's managed to get into this little building here on the corner now, which is, so from doing that small little flank, he's been able to push and get into a close, good range for his weapon to take out multiple enemies. And unfortunately, he does get killed by the tank, but it was the absolute perfect rotation to do. And, in a better scenario, there would be no tank. He could have held that position and got kill after kill after kill. Now, moving on to the next spawn, you can see the spawn screen there, and the ideal spawn is going to be on C flag, and it's going to basically be the power position you want to get to. Here is that triangle in between A and C and B, because all the enemies are coming from A to those 2 flags, and that's where you're going to intercept pretty much all of them. You can see C flag is being contested, and if a flag is being contested, even if you're holding it and you spawn on it, the following can happen, and you will spawn out to the side. There was a spawn beacon which you could see the teammate had in between B and C flag, and that would have been the more ideal and more perfect spawn. Moving on, we now have him pushing from the team's only currently held flag of D onto C flag. He's going to pick up a good amount of kills. He will take a death from being over aggressive and jumping out onto the flag and turning his back on pretty much the whole church, but he does pick up a good amount of kills. And the main thing I want to point out here, which is not really shown, but I want to make note of it so you can see it in the future clips of the video, and I will explain in more depth as we go throughout the video. So whereas we saw Hassan Khan in the previous Devastation subscriber analysis, he had a little bit of an issue where every time he got into a gunfight, he would be leaning constantly left and right, which was hindering his movement and accuracy. With Press Boy, what you'll see is he likes to crouch a lot. So I don't know where he crouches. Maybe it's on his right thumbstick, but you'll see in a lot of 1v1 gunfights, he does like to crouch instantly or spam the crouch in some instances. So keep an eye out for that, and I will explain the issue with that in the future clips that are coming up, and you can probably guess what those issues are already. So here is one of the main clips which I'm going to explain about the crouching. He still wins the gunfight here, but the main reason I'm mentioning the crouching is, although the crouching might seem like it gives you a bit of a better accuracy, when you crouch, the majority of enemies in this game are low level, and the majority of enemies anyway are going to aim for the chest. So when you crouch, you're pretty much bringing your enemy's reticle directly onto your head, and they're therefore going to kill you quicker. Even if you feel like you're going to get a bit better accuracy, you are also making your movement slower left to right when you do crouch as well. So, what really might need to be fixed there is to learn to lean instead of crouch, because if you lean, enemies typically always have a vertical recoil. So if an enemy aims on your chest, there's a good chance that vertical recoil is going to kick up. where your head should be, but if you have leaned when you're aiming into the gunfight, then they're gonna, their aim is going to go off target, and you're gonna probably win the gunfight. As well as if you're leaning and you're staying standing up, your movement of strafing left to right is also quicker. And so, that's why crouching is quite a big issue. You're giving the enemy the potential advantage of aiming directly onto your head. And, they will kill you shooting your head, before their recoil will take their aim off target where your head normally would be. So I want to replay the clip here, which I was just talking over. His teammate here dies and he gets shot at by an enemy, and he gets killed because he's over aggressive. So right here, the enemy's killed his teammate. He was shooting at Press Boy. He knows he's there, so he's therefore going to peek at any time. You've got the cover, and the guy knows you're there, and he knows you might go for a revive, but you're pushing aggressively while running, and that guy could pop out from multiple areas like he just done. And even his teammate here, Miss Lynx, runs around the corner, not, aggressively, and is lucky that the guy is not already pre-aimed on that corner, and therefore she is lucky she was able to stop in time to be able to take him out. You could see there from the outline, the red outline of the guy. If he just got to that corner to peek Miss Lynx running around there, he would have done a full squad wipe just because of, the squad being overly aggressive, trying to take out an enemy and go for a revive. Now here, again, we have the great example of his rotation. You can see that where the flags are being captured, you would think the majority of enemies are going to come from B. He stood over at the window where I normally would have stood at. Obviously, I won't push any further onto B. No enemies are coming. He's made the decision to push towards C flag. The enemies have got E. They've just started now to capture D. And so it's looking like that was a good rotational call, a good rotational play. And he's therefore going to pick up quite a few kills because of that decision. And you can see our teammates are now capturing B flag. So waiting and standing at that window overlooking B flag would have been the incorrect decision. Taking a death there, just being a bit over aggressive while on low health. Perhaps he could have used the wall, the pillar in front there, just to lean around and just show his head. But he does get a revive, and he is going to continue getting kills on the enemies coming from his spawn at E. Now, the only thing that is going to kill him in this clip is being aggressive while reloading, and he should reload in cover and then push out first. And he doesn't have a massive problem with over reloading all the time, although you will see sometimes he fires just a few bullets and will want to get a reload in when he could, you can see here he's jumped up onto there to take out the enemy while reloading with 19 bullets or whatever it was in the magazine. So he could have already been up there pre-aimed with 19 bullets just to take on that one guy. But other than that, it was a good rotational call and earned him a lot of kills. Now, this is a very short, quick clip, but it's just the perfect example of what I said about the crouching. There's an enemy sniper, a low-level enemy sniper, who's going to be aiming for the chest only, normally, and he's going to get insta-headshot killed here, simply just because of that crouching, as you can see there. If he just stood up, that guy's probably aiming for the chest. It's going to hit him on the chest. That enemy's on 40 health, as you can see there. You would have taken a chest shot and would have been able to take the kill. Now you can see the majority of the clips in his gameplay for the 100 bomb are around the main power position on C flag, and you're going to see here he's pushing towards D and E flag, which is what the enemies are capturing, or mainly he's pushing towards D flag, and that is going to be where the enemies are coming from in just a second's time. And what I really like about this clip is he's not being over aggressive, he's just holding this as a choke point. All of the enemies want to come from D flag onto C flag through this main entranceway, and therefore he's able to pick up quite a few kills just holding. There's so many enemies that want to come through there. If he run, he is going to die by being a bit too aggressive, but he does earn a lot of kills beforehand just by holding this distance here, which is a good distance for the Sturmgewehr, and therefore I really rate that in this clip. The only reason he does die is he does push a bit too far forward, and you can see when he dies here how many enemies there are. Look, there's so many enemies. If he just kept his distance, the enemies would have just kept coming in, and he would have kept getting kill after kill after kill. But again, much better discipline in that clip there. Replaying this clip also is just another example of teammate down, running around a corner, also the crouching you can see there, so a combination of the things previously shown at the start of the video. What you're going to get in this next clip is just, again, a lot of nice kills in and around C flag. You can see all the flags are being contested, see there's nobody on there, but the direction, he's going in the right direction, in that the main flag which the enemies have held is E flag, and so he's had the idea that they're going to be in between E and C flag, pushing towards C flag. So that's what he's done by going to the organ, and he's picked up there 4 or 5 kills, and will continue then to stay on C flag as the enemies have come from E and from now D flag and A flag as well. Again, just showing all the flags connected to the main flag C in the middle of the map, and the enemies are constantly coming onto this flag from all different directions. I'd even be tempted to go and try and do a 100 kill game challenge just by staying only on C flag on Devastation. I genuinely think that is possible. Okay, so when we move into the next clip in just a few seconds time, this is a very positive one, and also a little bit of improvement as well. There's so many enemies shooting at him here, he's going to get overwhelmed, so I like that he's going to push back. There's one small doorway entrance which he'll have to defend and aim at, which the enemies will have to come through, so it's going to be very hard for them to flank or get at him. What I don't like here is he's got 19 rounds in the gun with a squad pushing him. That enemy there, he could have come through straight after he got the first kill while he was reloading, and he would have had no time to pull his gun back up to get the next kill. So I like that he pushed back to take on the squad from a better position, but again, little hints of potentially a reloading problem while the squad's pushing you. In that instance there, I am going to be using all of my Sturmgewehr mag, all of my pistol mag, and then the launcher, while I know that squad is pushing me. So overall, what do I think about his gameplay? There's many positives, mainly being his accuracy, his awareness of enemies around him when moving on big flags like this, as well as his rotational play, getting him to the areas of the map where the enemies are, enabling him to find the most amount of enemies and get the most amount of kills throughout the course of any game. As for improvements, there aren't many. I'd cut out the crouching and go with the leaning to make yourself have better movement, be a harder target to hit, and obviously not off your head. Make sure to utilize the starts of games better, because that's where all the enemies are going to be pushing the center of the maps, and you can maximize 10 to 20 kills quickly. And lastly, I'd say just get a bit more of a hold on the reloading aspect while you're in gunfights. Don't reload until there's no enemies coming for you. If there's potentially 1 or 2 enemies, only if you've got more than 15 bullets in your magazine, or you've got more than 50% of your magazine left, don't reload. You've still got a pistol, you've got a launcher and everything else. So just get a bit more of a hold on the reloading, because it might save your life quite a few times. Thanks everyone for watching, smash a like, and I'll see you on the next video.